Hello everybody and welcome back to the FRS Season 6 Championship. This is Division 3 and we are in the very sunny Melbourne, Australia for round 8 of the championship, and Albert Park is definitely been a mainstay in the FRS this for all seasons except for Season 3, as you see it from our lovely graphics there. And it is a nice long track with 5.2 kilometers and 14 turns, 3 DRS zones, a lot of areas for overtaking on this track, and it is definitely a track where you want to be doing a lot of overtaking on, as the title race is definitely heating up with only 78 points left for grabs in the 3 races remaining, and the top 4 being separated by around 40 points. It is anyone's title going into this. Turn 3 being one of the main action zones on the of the track, just after a DRS zone, and it is a very sudden braking zone. Here on the tires, the softs, mediums and hards. Of course, hards only 1.6 seconds slower per lap, quite a bit faster than on other circuits, though softs do go very fast. They only last about 10 laps before you risk a puncture. Hards going a whopping 25 laps out of the 29 on offer this evening. Now we get a quick look at the Drivers' Championship. Now, I don't believe these have been updated after all steward decisions, but we have Mazda in P1 at the minute, Tez P2 after a great performance last time out, Ruprat in the Haas in P3, Shizu, Civic, and the now not racing in Division 3 Gotti making up the top 6. But let's try and get back into some qualifying. Ooh, here we go, folks. Now, we have a bit of a, I'm not sure if that's a game issue or stream issue, but a bit of a lag there on some of the cars going out there. Now, as is the tradition, we have to pull on the spectators menu just to bring up the full lap details there. Now, who is the furthest up the road? I believe the furthest up the road is on number, I think it's just Ruprat. Ruprat is our only driver at the moment to be out on a hot lap. Ruprat, of course, racing in Division 1 yesterday evening as well, putting in a really good show. I believe it was P4 in the end, and even leading the race at one point. This man has a lot of pace. Very nicely controlled now as he comes down towards the fast left-hander of turn 10. Ooh, very nicely held. Can he keep it within the limits? Yes, he can. Purple sector 2, of course, but he's the first person to set a time, so that's to be expected. He's coming through now, approaching the penultimate corner now. We can see what the time to beat will be from Ruprat, but you know him, it's not just going to be a banker, it's going to be a fast one. He always starts off fast, and he will keep getting faster throughout the session. It is a 1:18.2. That is a very good time to put on the board right now. So I believe it might be Tez right behind him, who is starting his hot lap as well. So let's jump on board there with the McLaren driver. P2 in the standings at the moment, only 17 points on the difference between him and Mazda. That is actually probably going to be even less due to she has not yet been updated through steward decisions in Miami. So I believe Tez has been awarded the win for that. Here, see Blackbird, EX, Space Ghost, Herbal, and Renovatio all sending a time at the moment. I believe that Renovatio time will definitely just be a banger lap. He can go much faster than that on normal conditions. He might even be going on a... Ted's just squeezing past from right there. Let's actually keep on board with McLaren driver now as he comes down towards the last few corners. didn't catch any of his sector times, so but I don't think he'll be challenging for pole with this lap time. Let's see. Ooh, P3. A full second off the provisional pole of Rumrat, but he will go again, and this session will just get faster and faster as Herbal retires from the session. Herbal, no. Let's see there. Oh, he seems to have come out of the turn 10 or 11 there, just way too quick. Maybe lost his footing, maybe a wheel on the grass as well. Thankfully, there are no red flags in qualifying, no safety cars, so our drivers can just get on with it. Oh, that's right. Let's jump aboard with Mazda, who has just gone into the front row there, only 3/10 off his rival in the Haas at the moment. Now, Hungary was interesting last time out with Renovatio, or sorry, not Renovatio. Well, it is Ruppert getting pole in Hungary as well, but losing out at the start of the race to Mazda and his teammate Jamie, as it was wet conditions at the beginning, and I believe Ruppert had a dry setup on Mazda going on a tear. He gets a purple sector 1. He's going for 2 flying laps, one after the other here. He went quite wide coming out of turn 7, but I think that's just a quirk. It was in the event notes for this evening's, for this weekend's race. Turn 7 has very weird, let's say, track limits definitions. So he comes down now towards, I forget the number of that corner, but he keeps it, ooh, very nicely done. Doesn't even touch the curb on the outside there. So he comes down now towards the penultimate corner of the lap. Herbal, oh, and he's actually aborting. He got that fastest sector, but perhaps just didn't have enough fuel to take it all the way. Oh, he is invalidated his lap, perhaps on an in lap at the moment, but let's jump on board here with our provisional pole sitter at the moment, Ruppert, as he's on an out lap at the moment, but he will be momentarily starting his second hot lap of the session. Now, Ruppert, let's see how well he can do, how much he can improve on his time. He is coming into a bit of traffic there as they pile up on turn 1. I believe that's Iak holding up a bit of traffic there. I don't know if he's spun or if he's just gone off track to avoid all the hot lappers behind him. Maybe a bit of both. Comes down now towards turn 3. Hard braking zone here for the Haas driver. And turns 4 and 5. Now he's coming up to the end of sector 1. Let's see where he is on his personal best already. He's just barely up on it. Let's see, keep it inside the limits as he can. The 200s up on his personal best, so we have to keep improving, keep going. As did not see who that was. That was a Mercedes of Shizu letting him off. Shizu on his out lap very nicely. Let him go. That is, oh, he's still only just up on his own time, but he is up on it. 2 purple sectors, one after the other. I don't see him improving by... Would he even get a 10th? He only improved by 200s in the first sector and 600s in the second sector. Comes down now, hard braking zone into that corner. Tries to get up on the throttle really quick through the gears as you go down the main straight. Let's see if he can improve on his time, and he does! He managed... Where did he find that time? He was only 600ths up at the end of the second sector. He managed to find 4 whole tenths of a second in that last sector, and it is a very short sector as well. Well done, Mazda. The first person into the 17 seconds, and he is nearly a full second. That's 8 tenths to P2. Very, very well done. Jump aboard here with Shizu, who has not set a lap time yet, but he is on a hot lap at the moment. Hopefully Ruppert gets out of the way. Yes, he does, returning the favor from Shizu in the previous lap. Oh, and Shizu actually setting a purple Sector 1 there. He is already beaten Ruprat Sector 2, or Sector 1 time, apologies. Oh, sorry, that was the Sector 2 time. So this is going to be a very quite wide at that corner. Hopefully it didn't impede him too much. But this is going to be a very interesting time here from the Mercedes driver. I did not catch his Sector 1 time, but if it was anything like his Sector 2 time, this would be a very fast lap indeed. Let's see here as he comes across the line. It's not going to be P1, but it is on the second row. 1:18.7. That was a very, very nice drive by Shizu. Yep, he seems to be slowing down now to perform his in lap. Mansa as well is, I believe he's going to go for another one. He's 1:23 seconds. He's definitely going to be wanting to go for another lap. Ooh. Oh, and he's invalidated immediately on the first corner. Yeah, and the slowdown of shame at the end there. Well, let's go on board here with the Alpine of Iag in P4 at the moment. Only 2/10 to Shizu in front of him. Not a lot of ground to make up, and it is a long enough track where there is a lot of places to do it. Ooh, Iag is definitely going slowly here. Wonder if he'll let the cars behind him go through. Let's see if we can find someone who is on a hot lap at the moment. I believe Stealth is on a hot lap. We'll see his time as he's coming towards the end of Sector 2 right now. Oh, no. No. Oh, and he goes wide into that corner anyways. So that will not be an improved time for Project Stealth on that one. I think most of the drivers are on outlaps, or that are on hot laps at the moment, are probably on their way into the pits at the end of this lap. So let's jump on board here with Iag as he will be crossing the line soon. He'll have to contest with Chronicle in front of him, who Chronicle is meeting a lot of traffic as he starts to as he starts to begin his hot lap. So Tez is just allowing himself here to get a bit of free air, warming up the tires, just letting the cars out in front go out in front. Ooh. There we go, as Tez will begin his hot lap once more with only 5 minutes 30 remaining in the session. Times you'll think will want to be ramping up, especially if anyone wants to be challenging at 1:17.7. Ruprat is still in the pits. I wonder if he'll even try and beat his own lap time. It'll take a monster lap from Mansta to even attempt it. Space Ghost gets out of the way of Chronicle on a hot lap there. And he'll have to do the same for his teammate very quickly if he keeps to the left-hand side. Ooh. Or maybe even giving him a bit of a tow down this back straight. I believe that might be what's happening. There's Tez. Oh, Tez gets a purple Sector 2 thanks to that tow. Very good teamwork there by the McLaren drivers. Tez P9 at the moment. And a purple Sector 2. That could bump him up a lot in the order, but he does go very wide into that corner there. Ooh. Very nicely now. Let's see if he can get up on the throttle and onto those gears very quickly. Let's see where he comes as he comes across the line. P6 only at the end, but a whole second faster than his previous best. Now Space Ghost is on his own flying lap at the moment. Maybe the McLaren drivers have strategized here. Maybe they're going to try and give Space Ghost a tow along that back straight in Sector 2 as well. No, as Tez just says, "Oh, get out of the way, here you go." No such favors being given to Space Ghost here. He is all on his own, but he has a lot of spare of clean air in front of him to make those moves. A 19.0, I believe that's actually better than his Division 4 qualifying time from yesterday. which he, of course, won in the end. He is still down on his own time, but only by 0.02 of a second. If he can make that up in this final sector, he might be able to maybe even pip his own teammate as Brad Spitt retires from the session. Ooh, that's in the first corner. He took it just a bit too fast there. Let's see as Space Ghost improve on his time in the last sector. No, he has. Oh, he has by just the tiniest amount. A 1:18.995. He'll be happy with that. He knows his own pace. He does a lot of practice in time trials, and he'll be very happy with that qualifying time. Now, Ruppert is actually on his own flying lap. He's more or less on par with his own time. He is only 100 up, but oh, very close to cutting that corner there in turn 11. Excuse me. But he did get a purple sector 2. He's already smashing this qualifying session so far, and he might improve on his time even more. As that is just a Ferrari sitting on the pit lane. And he comes across the line, does not improve on his time. And Mazda, I think, is going to be going on his own flying lap at the moment, and he invalidates again on that first corner. That first corner is seeming to be very, very difficult for Mazda at the moment. Cannot see how long is left in the session. There's 1:30. If he goes around quick, he might have enough time for another flying lap. Ooh. Here we go on Dr. Shizu. Comes around the penultimate and last corner of Albert Park Circuit as he starts to begin his own hot lap right now. And the Reservatio has left the session. Hopefully that's not some connectivity issues. Shizu has shown some great pace here this evening already. As Blackbird pips Iag onto that second row there in P4. Here we go now as Shizu makes his way down towards the end of Sector 1. We can get an eye on how he is. He's 600ths down on his own time, but there is still a lot of places to make that up. That's not a large margin, and Ruppert has said that's enough. A 1:17.7. He's retired in the pit lane. He thinks that's enough for provisional pole, and he might be right. Shizu 800ths up on his own time. He's made up that bit of time in Sector 2. A purple Sector 2 again, but I believe that might just be a glitch at the moment in the track map. You know, with everyone seemingly getting a purple Sector 2. And that is the end of the session. It has hit the 0:00. So, these drivers who are now crossing the start-finish line. Ooh, a lot of curve there on the exit. Where will he come? And he does! He pips Mazda to the front row! What a lap that is from Dr. Shizu! Pulling that Mercedes into P2 with a 1:18.3. Nearly exactly 2/10 faster than the Ferrari driver, but I think Mazda is on his own flying lap at the moment. Can he do a bit of a no-you? He comes now across the last corner, speeding towards the start-finish line. No, nearly an identical time to his fastest, but he will not improve on that, and I believe that will be it for the end of qualifying, unless Chronicle can say something here in P12 at the moment. He's coming towards the line. Ooh, I didn't see where he got placed there. P11. He did move up a place, I think. Ooh, very exciting qualifying session there. I don't think I've taken a breath over the last 20 minutes. But Rob Pratt again showcasing his absolute pace here with a 1:17.779, 6/10 of a second faster than his front row companion Dr. Shizu in the Mercedes. We have Mazda, IAG, Blackbird, Brad Spitt, and motor drivers that I didn't get to read. Unfortunately, that was a very quick timing there. Hopefully we can recap the grid as Crofty brings us on our broadcast formation. Here we are, we get a bit of a look at the starting tyres. Rupprat and Space Ghost being the only drivers to start on the hard tyres. Everybody else on the grid on those mediums. Mediums, of course, going approximately 15 laps across this circuit. But let's get a rundown of the order. Never mind, we're not getting a rundown of the order, because screw us, right? Ooh, that's a nice shot now. All the drivers coming across the start-finish straight now into their respective grid boxes. Of course, a small grid this evening, only 12 drivers, so most of those grid spots are empty, but we will have an entertaining race regardless. That's 2, 3, 4, that's 5 lights. And Renovatio got disqualified from session for the severe collision with Herbal, but his lights out, away we go, and Mazda has just jumped both the drivers on the front row into P1. Rupprat is going up and down the other, and that's a Shizu round in the background. I hope he is okay and not out of the session, but that is an immediate full course yellow flag. My voice broke by just the immediate carnage. Shizu has left the session there, I believe it was. We have a full safety car coming onto the grid. Burn Mainlander IAG has already... My word. So, that was Renovatio with a jump start. He hit into Herbal, causing a collision there, which I think gave Herbal a drive-through penalty. Yeah, that forced Herbal to jump the start, giving him a drive-through penalty. Oh, no. My voice completely going there before turn 1 had even finished. What had happened between IAG and what I believe might have been Dr. Shizu. Drivers are ghosting now. I don't know how they're ghosting. When ghosting is turned completely off for the session. Shizu has rejoined us. Perhaps just some connectivity issues there on his end. Or maybe accidental rage quit after the spin. Yeah, as Clonergy does point out, it is at its stands. Points for every finisher. Project Stealth and Chronicle jumped around the order. Oh no, that is due to them into the pits to serve their drive-through penalty. Whew. I need a breather. We've only gone a lap and a half. So, we have Mazda leading the race. Ruprat somehow hanging on to P2. I saw him briefly jump down to P4 there, and that was with Shizu and Iag jostling for position, and now Shizu's in P9 and Iag is in P11. So maybe they had a bit of a incident there, giving Ruprat the gifting him the P2 for the moment. Blackbird, Tez, and Brad Spit making up the top 5, and then we have Herbal, Space Ghost, Stealth, Shizu, and Chronicle making up the top 10. Chronicle and Herbal still with their drive-through penalties. And, I mean, I don't see why Chronicle wouldn't take it now. Oh wait, no, he can't. Actually, I do know why he's not taking it now. You can't serve a drive-through penalty while under safety car. So, I wonder if Chronicle, I do think he went into the pits at the end of that first lap. Maybe he did not. Chronicle going into the pits again and getting a 5-second penalty. I don't think he knows that you can't serve a drive-through penalty during a safety car. Because that is his second stop, yeah, of the race. And he got a 5-second penalty for speeding, and he still has that drive-through penalty. And he has a 5 seconds on top of that. And now he's on fresh softs. Poor Chronicle. I hope he's learned his lesson now after 2 trips into the pit lane that he can't serve it while under safety car conditions. Ho-ho. Safety car in this lap. Now let's jump on board here with maybe Ruprat as we view Mazda leading us onto a safety car restart. Mazda already slowing the grid down, which is exactly what you like to see. I could even say that he could slow him down even more, as he wants to let Burt Maylander get into the pit lane before they even attempt to come across that last corner. Ooh, this is going to be tight. Oh, ho, ho, ho. And Mazda's gone. Mazda has just gone. Oh, it's going to be tight with the pit lane entry. Oh, Mazda has speeded off into the distance. He's already 1 second ahead of the Haas. Mazda has just taken them all for chumps there at the restart. Let's jump on board with Tez here as he's barreling down on the Blackbird, the Red Bull of Blackbird, I should say. Down into turn 2 there, or turn 3, apologies. No reshufflings of the orders at the restart. Their Chronicle is getting a lot on Shizu with those, fresh, soft tires. I will say 10 drivers makes it much easier for me to navigate through the different drivers on board here. Shizu is taking a bit of a sniff here at Project Stealth. Will he try and make the move here down towards the fast left-hander of turn 10? He's not using a bit of overtake here, I don't believe. Oh, he is right on the edge of that gearbox of the Alpine. Oh, and Iag maybe squeezing him into the wall. Oh, Shizu going around the outside, but Iag is defending well. But Shizu will keep the position, and Iag actually loses another position to Chronicle, who says thank you very much as he spotted those 2 drivers fighting in front of him. And Iag has unfortunately fallen victim to that now. Who is that? That is Herbal into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. Chronicle also into the pits to serve his penalty. They will finally get those penalties removed. Excuse me. As Tez has actually made it past Blackbird now into the podium positions. but Blackbird is only 2-3 tenths behind him, and he will be coming at him. It's going to be very fast at the start here, as all of these, most of the drivers at the top are on medium tires, and they are still fresh after 3 laps under the safety car. Ooh. Now, Ruppert is actually keeping on pace. He's got that gap down by about 5 tenths of a second now since we last spoke about them, and he is on those hard tires as well. So who knows what Ruppert can do when those hard tires have heated up properly. And, you know, those tires will go much longer in the race. As we saw in the graphic beforehand, those hards could go approximately 25 laps, which, if Ruppert wanted to get them, as DRS is enabled now, if Ruppert wanted to get those hard tires to the end, well, he could go to around lap 20, 21, and then go on the soft tires till the end. Soft tires go around 10 laps, so he would get those soft tires to their fullest potential. But he is keeping within that 7 tenths of a second mark to Mazda. Even have DRS on this race now. Oh, and that's Brad Spitt out of the race. Brad Spitt spun around coming out of turn 5. And that's another safety car. And that is heaven for Mazda, who was being barreled down on the hash of Ruppert and who had DRS. Well, we had 2 laps of green flag racing, just had DRS enabled. And now it is another full safety car. Now let's see here, do any of the drivers decide to pit onto maybe another set of tires? These tires are still very fresh, but maybe with 2 safety cars, those medium runners might decide to chance a switch to hards and then run them until near the end and switch to softs. You know, it does bring out the option of a 2-stop race, as Mazda and Tez both pit. So they will definitely be taking those options. They are going onto the fresh hard tires now, but they are following down the order. They'll have a lot of traffic to try and get through, as Ruppert will take the net, not the net lead, as he is yet to stop, but definitely in a good position for the moment. Shizu, after his spin in the first lap, now in P2 on 4-lap-old hards. He is in a very good position at the moment. And Space Ghost has also made it up into the podium at the moment. Still yet to pit as well. Space Ghost and Ruppert being the only drivers to have yet pit after only 7 laps. Now, if you don't mind, chat, I'm going to take a drink of water. Now, I would think it is crazy how much the grid is already spaced out after only 2 laps after the previous safety car. Because we had just got DRS enabled, if you remember. And DRS is enabled after 2 laps of green flag racing after a safety car. And after that, we are still waiting here for Herbal and Chronicle to catch up to the pack. Of course, they did jump into the pits after the last safety car to serve their drive-through penalty, so it is, to be honest, that would definitely cause them to be a bit behind. But now they have fully caught up with the rest of the pack, and they have basically fresh softs. So, you know, maybe this could be the start of a resurgence for these two. Now, I have to say, Ruppert is definitely in the best position of any driver at the moment. Fastest by far in qualifying, and now he is in P1 with those hard tires that can go for another, I would say, 15 laps easily, and he will have the clean air in front of him assuming he doesn't have Shizu or Space Ghost close enough to make a move on the restart. And all the drivers are definitely together at the moment, so the safety car will more than likely be in at the end of this lap. And that is indeed the safety car in this lap. So let's jump on board here with Dr. Shizu as we view another safety car restart in just 8 laps. See, and Roprat is slowing down the cars. Maybe not by enough. It seems like our 2 safety car leaders thus far they don't know how to slow the grid down. Mazda very much coming it close in the previous previous safety car, sorry. Oh, Shizu is sniffing around the gearbox of Roprat, and that is a very, very good restart by Shizu. Will he be able to? Oh, he is hastening that Haas. Oh, and he is keeping it very close to Roprat here as Mazda has actually made it off a few places as Blackbird spins around in turn 1 and is already back on his way, maybe just going a bit wide perhaps at turn 1 there as Tez gets past Project Stealth to P4 behind his teammate. And Mazda made up of quite a few places there at the restart in P6 at the moment on those fresh hard tires. But Roprat is already pulling away from Shizu 5/10 of a second. He will definitely be out of the DRS zone as a bit of team orders there from McLaren. Space Ghost lets Tez go through on the long back straight. Yeah, at the end of the first lap after the safety car, it is a 6/10 gap between P1 and P2. Very promising here for Roprat. As we have another yellow flag, that's Project Stealth out of the session. Where is that now? That is at the last corner there. I hope that is not another safety car. We have only 8 drivers remaining of the 12 that began the race. Project Stealth's car is still on that last corner. There are still yellow flags in Sector 3. So Mazda is now down into P8. He's actually lost a few places there. I wonder if he had a bit of a moment with Project Stealth that caused both of them to plummet down the order. And note that his Project Stealth car has been erased from existence and we are still green flag racing. Now Shizu has actually made up quite a few tenths of a second here to the back of Shizu. He's managing to keep it around the half-second gap. If he can keep this going until the DRS is enabled, which I believe it will be at the start of the next lap, if I remember correctly, then we will have a very interesting race going forward. Ooh, Shizu seems to be struggling a bit with that last corner. I've seen him kind of go a bit like deep, a bit too slow, in my opinion, on that on the exit of it. Roprat with a 1:22.888. That's the fastest lap of the race so far, and that is DRS enabled. So we will have it here. Does he have it here? I can't even tell. He does not have it down that straight. Ooh. But he is on the verge of that DRS. He's only 9/10. He lost a lot through that first part of the lap. Shizu actually gets a purple Sector 1. Wonder if that is another glitch like the qualifying, or if that is a real purple sector, but we will see soon enough, I believe. Ooh, yellow flags. Who is that spun round? Is that Herbal? That is Herbal, who has DNF'd. And now we have another car lying across the track. No safety car in sight. Yep, the car's just gone. We have now 7 runners on the field as Tez gets past Dr. Shizu. Dr. Shizu with a bad exit out the last corner again. And Shizu takes full advantage of, or sorry, Tez takes full advantage of Shizu's mistake there. Ooh, excuse me. All this action is not very good for my voice at the moment. The board here with the Ferrari of Massa as he's still trying to make his way up the order. Now at only 0.5 of a second to Blackburn in front. He has a long way to go until he's in the DRS zone though. He needs to keep that at a 1 second gap. Shizu is also in a 1 second gap in behind the McLaren of Tez. There he will have a DRS. Woohoo. Now let's keep on board here with Massa. So he will have DRS coming out of this corner here. Ooh, yes, and that is open there. Doesn't seem to be gaining a lot of time though on the Red Bull. Only about a tenth, and he's already lost it going through these final few corners. So that's another car round. That is Chronicle. Hopefully that's not a DNF. No, he's just had a bit of a moment and he is continuing on like a good lad. Space goes already 5 seconds behind Shizu in P3 and 6 seconds behind his teammate. Maybe just holding off the rest of the grid from attacking those front threes. In a bit of a no man's land at the moment. 4 seconds nearly to the Red Bull behind him, and 5 seconds 7/10 to the Mercedes in front. This here is the closest battle on track. Closest battle is Shizu, who is still going on, barreling down on Tez. So he has DRS now down this main straight, one of the back straights. It doesn't seem to gain a lot of time on him. Still 7/10 of a second between the two. Will he have it as he goes through? He does seem to be within a second as he goes through the DRS detection zone. There we go. He has DRS now down this main straight. Still only 0.8 of a second. The DRS does not seem to be very powerful here. A bit of oversteer there for Shizu as well, coming out of turn 1. It seems that the order is settling down a wee bit here. All the drivers being around a second apart from each other. Ruppert 2 and a bit seconds out in front, showcasing his speed that he showed in qualifying earlier. We'll stay on board here with the Mercedes and McLaren as it is the fastest and closest battle on track. As we approach lap 15 and the halfway mark in this race, we've had 2 safety cars. We've had 5 drivers not finish this race. And we have Ruppert leading from the front with 2.5 second gap to the McLaren of Tez in P2. This will be very, very good for Tez's World Championship hopes as he's only, if my math is correct, maybe 8 points, 8 or 9 points off Mazda once the Miami steward decisions are taken into account. So a podium here will be very good for him, but he's being challenged by Dr. Shizu. Oh, they're going side by side into turn 3. Oh, very nice driving from the two of them, and they're still going side by side. It's a bad exit by Tez, and Shizu's going around the outside into turn 4 and 5. Oh, that's a very nice move by Shizu, and he will keep the position into turn 7 and 8. Oh, less nice for Tez as he wants to keep those hopes alive at the front of the table, but it's still a podium position, but he will want P2. I think P1 is definitely out of the question at the moment for these two drivers. It's the 4-second gap now between Rupprat and Shizu. But these two drivers will be giving us a show of the weekend as they battle for P2. Tez will definitely have to make the most out of Shizu's slow exits on the last corner, especially as they lead directly into a DRS zone. As you can see, yes, his DRS wing is open. Doesn't seem to be a lot of power in the DRS though. In this race, there's just not, they're getting maybe a tenth down as they go through each DRS zone, but it doesn't seem to be giving them that overtake capabilities as you would want from a DRS. Oh, and Mazda has made it past Blackbird. Seems like that's out of turn 7 and 8. Blackbird is barreling down on him though. He's getting that bit of a slipstream and maybe even using a bit of ERS. As you see, he has the I don't think he actually has the overtake on, but he does have it to use if he wants it. He'll have the DRS open as well. Will he want to challenge the Ferrari? He is definitely looking. Oh, that's a great defending move by Mazda, blocking off that inside lunge. Oh, Mazda needs to be careful not to be tiptoeing into weaving territory here, but I do believe that was within the rules of one defending move and returning to the racing line. Mazda has that 5-second gap, but Blackbird has activated his ERS and he is having the DRS down the main straight. Oh, nearly missing the turn in on that first corner. He is still coming at him. He's still coming at him. When he tried the late drive, he decides to a bit better of it. He takes a bit better of it. But it was a very interesting few corners between the Red Bull and Ferrari. Great defending by Mazda coming out of turn. Ooh, voice break there. Coming out of turn 11. Now he has the substitute for this evening, Space Ghost, in his sights. Space Ghost, of course, winning yesterday evening in Division 4, but I don't think he has it in him to defend against our Division 5 P2 runner-up last season now, Mazda, who definitely has the pace and definitely has the racecraft to make those overtakes happen. But he has 8 whole seconds to make it up in the 11 laps remaining. He will need to be around a second a lap quicker than this man in front. Let's take a look at the tires now. Mazda does have the advantage of 6 lap pressure tires than Space Ghost, but those tires will go approximately 25 laps. But Space Ghost still has to pit, if I recall correctly. Yep, Space Ghost and Rupprat are still needing to pit, and even with this gap that Rupprat is pulling at the front of the pack, he's 4 seconds still to Dr. Shizu. I don't really see him pitting And then, oh, Space Ghost. No, that does not help his chances to stay ahead of the Ferrari. But, yes, to get back to my point, I don't see Ruprat, you know, keeping that lead. He doesn't have that much. He doesn't have enough of a gap to cover up the pit stop. And I don't see him being able to make his way back up into P1 in the 10-ish laps remaining, as he still has not pitted as he comes across to start lap 19 now. But Tez is still, they are still fighting it out. It's proving very difficult to overtake at the moment for these two drivers, but they are keeping within a second of each other. And Blackbird is also keeping within that second gap of Mazda, just trying to use that DRS to drag him along and hopefully get within a chance of snatching back that P5. Guntez is actually pulled out of the DRS there. He's only his second, but he's made his way back into that. That's Blackbird with a 3-second time penalty, and that definitely puts to bed any hopes he had of beating Mazda. Oh, and Blackbird has actually gone off track here after turn 5. Ooh, let's see. Blackbird does seem to be continuing, but that kind of area of the track, it's very easy to lose a front wing or something like that. And seeing as Chronicle is absolutely barreling, he is making up all that time. I do believe Chronicle has some damage as Ruprat pits. Ruprat does finally pit at the end of lap 19, and Shizu will take the net lead of the race. Tez into P2. Space Ghost still needs to pit, but if he doesn't, he will take that P3 spot momentarily. And Mazda might even pip his rival here to the line. Oh no, just about. Ruprat does make it out in front of Mazda. Let's see what tires he's on. He's on those fresh mediums to go only 9 laps of the race. That is, I know it was kind of on that verge of like you could go medium or soft. Soft's only going 10 laps. After 9 laps of running them, you are at the risk of a puncture. So maybe mediums are just that balance of not at the risk of puncture and definitely faster than the 13 lap old mediums he has behind him, and the 19 lap old, the 13 lap old hards behind him and 19 lap old hards in front of him. Everyone in front of him has very, very old hard tires, and even though the hards can go for quite a while, they will definitely be feeling the strain after 17, 19 laps. Let's jump aboard actually with Ruprat. I do expect him on fresh mediums to be setting some purple sectors with the pace that this lad has. But Shizu, I don't know if Shizu can go the rest of the race on these 18 lap old hards. Of course, pitting at the end of the first lap. Oh yeah, Ruprat on his outlap sets a purple sector 3 there, and he's already 8 tenths behind Space Ghost. Thunder Tree in front of me here. Those mediums can go 18 laps, and there's only 8 laps remaining, so that is, they are definitely better than the softs, which were kind of on the verge of risking a puncture. But he is right on the gearbox there as he gets a purple sector 1. Oh, and nearly hitting the gearbox on the McLaren in front. Let's see if we can get a good angle here. He will definitely have the run on him down this very, very long back straight. Now that they've taken off the chicane, it's definitely a place where fast cars can go fast as well as all heck. Yep, hard tires can go about 25 laps, but I don't know if you would want them going there as, they're going side by side. Very nearly contact between the rear tire of Ruprat, and Space Ghost has actually taken back the position. Ruprat seemed to be ceding it, maybe thought that he'd gained an advantage unfaithfully. But whatever the reason, Space Ghost has kept the position But Ruppert will have the DRS down this main start-finish straight. Space Ghost is reaching the edge of those hard tires. 21 laps old now. They'll go for about 25 laps, as Cumulus has informed us, and not just in chat, but with his amazing graphics. Oh, a bit of oversteer there. Oh, Space Ghost is having difficulty just bringing the car around the track. Never mind defending from the very, very quick Haas behind him. Oh, I would say it is definitely time to box for Space Ghost. Go on those mediums till the end of the race, and you'll still get a very good end time out of it. Oh, is he still defending that inside line? And he is still in front of this. Great action here between the Haas and McLaren. Space Ghost putting on a clinic worthy of the Division 4 champion. Oh, Willie. Oh, a bit of tire contact again there. Space Ghost perhaps being pushed a bit wide, but Ruppert has gotten the position. Oof, oof, oof. And Space Ghost is still not pitted. He is going again. Maybe he wants that position back. I don't know why he would want it back. He'll just lose it as soon as he pits. But he is going, and he is losing time to Mazda behind him, who is only 2 seconds now between the two drivers. And near the front of the pack, Tez is still within that second gap of Shizu. Space Ghost defending like a lion for his teammate. Just acting like that buffer to help his teammate get that closer to the P1. Just give him that better chance. As Chronicle on those fresh mediums sets the fastest lap of the race thus far. Let's take a look at the hard tires here. Only 4 laps between the two drivers, though. At this point in the tires' life cycle, they are pretty much identical. There's not much difference between 21 and 17 laps. But Shizu is definitely getting on the lower end of their life cycle, as is Space Ghost, who has still not pitted, but he is definitely inviting that challenge from Mazda behind him. Maybe he's just staying out as long as he can to give all of the competitors that Tez has in this championship fight a bit of butter. Excuse me. There, very nearly contact between the Ferrari and McLaren. Mazda just trying that bit of a gap. Oh, as Blackbird has spun, and that is a full safety car. And that is a godsend for Space Ghost, who surely will go on to some fresh softs at the end of this lap to see out the rest of the race. This is some great defending from Space Ghost, as he held off a lot of challenges from Ruppert and a few more challenges there from Mazda, and he's been, well, I don't want to say rewarded, as it's from a Blackbird DNF, but oh no, Tez speeding in the pit lane at the death at the end of the race. As Ruppert actually comes into the pits. All of the drivers seem to be coming onto some fresh softs. Now this is going to be a drag race till the end of the race, as Massa actually, maybe he got a bit of damage there on his turn 4 overtake attempt on Space Ghost, just replacing the wing. Oh, this is going to be some tasty action at the end of this race. So we have a minimum of 2 laps under the safety car, if I remember right. So that would leave us with 26, 27. Lap 27, I think, would be the end of it, which would give us about 2 or 3 laps of a drag race to the finish line. And with most, I would say all of our title contenders, Shizu, Tez, Mazda, and Ruprat, our top 4 at the moment in the driver standings, all within a chance, and all 6 remaining drivers, half of the grid has not managed to finish the race already, but all of our drivers are on some fresh softs to go the distance. This is very interesting. Tez actually going back into the pits for... Oh. I believe he got a bit of... Seemed to be a bit of a penalty, perhaps? He's gone on to some even fresher softs at the moment. Not sure what happened there. Maybe he had a penalty to... Oh, the 5 seconds from the previous pit stop. Yes, that is it. To try and get rid of that speeding penalty. Thank you, Quimby. I had already forgotten about that. But, you know, with fresh softs, at the end of the race, anything is possible. And with only 6 drivers in it, at the end of a safety car period, he definitely has it in him to maybe make a bid for a podium. But I think those 5 seconds may have cost Tez some very valuable World Championship points, as the safety car is in this lap. See here how Shizu we have a bit of a reverse of the last safety car restart. Oh, great camera angle, Cody's. There we go. 6 drivers, 3 laps, all fresh softs, and a Division 3 title up for grabs, with 4 title contenders still in play. As Shizu takes us around the final corner. Oh, and Rupra goes right into the back of him. What has happened there? And Chronicle and Mazda also getting some damage, but that gives... And Rupra goes into the pits. Space Ghost takes the lead, with Mazda barreling down on the back of him, but Space Ghost is just already a second ahead. And Tez has made up so many places into the podium straight away. Chronicle gets a track limits penalty on top of the 5 seconds. Oh my word, what a safety car restart. Space Ghost has to keep this Ferrari behind him for 2.5 laps now. Will he have it in him? Will he have the defending and the guts in him to keep Mazda behind him? Tez is going to be wanting to catch up as much as possible to try and keep that lead over Mazda in the championship or to try and gain any kind of lead in the championship, as Mazda is still ahead by around 9 points, and Mazda has gone from near the back of the grid up into P2 now. But Space Ghost substituting into Division 3, and he now leads with fresh softs with only 27 laps gone. That's Shizu out of the session. Shizu off at turn 10. I doubt that won't be, there's only 2 laps remaining, it won't be a full safety car. So it will have to be business as usual. We have only 5 drivers remaining of the 12 that started, as Space Ghost comes down the start-finish straight. He has a Ferrari burning on him, but Tez is also gaining gaining with the fast stop of the race so far. 124. He is gaining on the Ferrari in front of him. Now Space Ghost did show some very, very good defending on his last stint on those hard tires. He defended well against Ruppert. He defended really well against Mazda, showing that even against the much faster drivers, he can do the business. Oh, now only 0.5 of a second the gap between the two, and Mazda will have DRS coming out of turn 10 here. Oh, he's getting very close to the gearbox of the Papaya car. Oh, that's maybe weaving, but he has kept the position. There's now only 2.5 tenths. The difference between the two, but Tez is only 3 tenths behind him, 2.5 tenths. If Tez can make a move on Mazda, maybe stop him from making a move on his own teammate. The 3 cars out in front, they're all within DRS of each other. I'm going to go on board here with Tez. Now DRS has been enabled for the last lap of the Grand Prix. Space Ghost leads the last lap. Mazda doesn't have DRS down this main straight. Of course, it was just enabled. Tez trying to make the move around the outside, doesn't make it stick. Oh ho ho! This is some great racing at the end of the thing. Oh, and Mazda trying to make the move into turn 7. Space Ghost defense. Tez is going to try and make the move on Mazda himself. He does. Tez gets past Mazda, but I think they're side by side. No, Mazda is gone behind Tez, and he keeps the position. They are still right on each other going into the fast left-hander. Oh, and Tez with some good defending there, but and he shuts him off. Mazda into the gravel, Mazda around. And Space Ghost says, here you go, Tez. You take the victory. You take the win. As Tez brings us around the last corner of the last lap of an absolutely mad Australian Grand Prix. And Tez and Space Ghost take the checkered flag for a McLaren 1-2. And Chronicle, of all people, will come around to take the last podium place. Oh, actually, Mazda has pipped him there. I think Chronicle had some penalties at the end, so Mazda will keep P3, but my word, my voice is gone and my mind is blown. Yep, 3 seconds time penalty for Chronicle. He kept P3 on track, but P4 in the end. I believe there may be a lot of stewards reports after this race. But what a race it was. Absolutely phenomenal. Maybe not for the drivers that were racing in it, but definitely for us watching it. 5 drivers out of the 7 actually finishing the race. And some mad racing from the top 3 at the end of it. Ho, ho, ho. Now, unfortunately, we'll have to skip past the podium proceedings here. We have Tez as our winner for this evening, also taking the fastest lap of the 1:24. And then Space Ghost with the 1-2 for McLaren. Mazda finishing off the podium. And then Chronicle and Ruppert finishing off the drivers that actually finished the race. Let's try and go into the race director here. Oh, no, it is just... Never mind. It said I had 26 seconds. Apparently, I am not allowed 26 seconds. But, anyways... Oh, to everyone in chat, thank you so much for joining me this evening on an absolutely mad night of racing around Albert Park. It was crazy. It was electrifying, and there were definitely some tickets to be posted after this race. But that is not for me to decide. I had an absolute pleasure commentating over it. It was, my voice is gone, as you can hear. All of the screaming after that last safety car restart has made me mute for the next week, probably. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you all very much for joining me this evening. It is Yas Marina next week. And so, I'll see you there next time. Ta-ra!